I'm Yu Fujiwara. I'm born in 1982. I'm from Japan, a city called Kobe, and came to UK from 2001 and documenting um, this kind of like street style or street photography from 2010. And I wrote on the background, but I specialized in graphic design while I was at uni. I went to London College of Communication at the Elephant and Castle, and it's one of those things. But when you about to graduate, your interest goes to many different things. I was making a three-dimensional kind of conceptual object, but photography is something that I've been doing for a long time as a hobby, and then keep carrying the cameras. And while I was doing as a almost hobby, friend of mine asked one of the kind of like little job for me, which is actually taking a street style, taking just the three snaps almost, just a full length image of fashionable people, not necessarily the fashion week, but also regular people on the street. And while I was doing it, I started more kind of finding alternative way of recording or documenting those street style, street photography. So I start kind of uh, opening up or like building up a blog called 8 and 2. That's where my Instagram handle is coming from. So we go into the next one. So what is 8 and 2? 8 and 2 is the what is one of the my grandfather used to say all the time. Um, he used to be a truck driver or farmer, but he always say this actual job is 80% preparation and then 20% of actual work, which I still like those phrases. And yeah, that's the how I got the name from. And also, I was born in 1982, and my postcode also include those two numbers. So coincidentally, a lot of meaning in it. Anyway, so talking about equipment, maybe something that people always ask. Um, there are many different. Before I go into this setup, I was using different cameras and stuff, and then this is the current setup. Just showing. Um, so I use mainly Leica cameras, analog Leica MP, and the 35 mil is the my main um, focal length, and then got the digital version. Some clients need it digital, but analog is definitely my main thing. Always carry the light meter, and which is very helpful. Um, and also Sony RX100. This is version 7. This one I got it um, quite recently, but in order to replace taking the picture on the phone. So I still use my iPhone, which is iPhone 11, which is quite old, but um, kind of want to use the actual camera in order to documenting everyday things, and which helps me a lot. So I needed some kind of like a small digital camera to carry every day. And film canister I use for the Fashion Week. Well, that's the kind of setup. And the Nissin I40 compact flash is great. Um, I think the Leica also made a very similar thing, but just the logo on the top. But basically, it's the same thing. Um, and then let's go to the, oops. to the talking about the Fashion Week. So, Fashion Week is very chaotic. Many different people walking down the street, and also so many photographers and security, um, so on. It's very chaotic. So maybe I'm gonna start talking about little tips, and these are the guidance. Let me open up. So it was a bit dark.
It looks great now. Thank you so much.
So I break down the tips in these 6 different breakdowns: observation, shape and silhouette, make it personal, ready-made object, poetry details, keep it spontaneous. I'll going back to the why we are talking about this for each topic anyway. Let's go to the first topic. Oops. Observation. I put the quote from film Amelie. When the finger is pointing up to the sky, only the fool looks at the finger. And this I find it quite interesting because at the street style or fashion week photography, you tend to think the guest or celeb or model is the main character to take a picture. But it's it is it is the main character, but at the same time, whole Fashion Week dilemma is very interesting. It's very chaotic, but also it's very like in a way unrealistic life, you know. So I find it those kind of situation interesting. So observation is very important. How people moves, how people kind of react. So so not only looking at just the people coming to the show or models and stuff, but also there's a lot of interesting things happening around there as well. So here you go. Here, I've got 2 pictures here. One on the left, I took at the outside the Vivienne Westwood show at the Place de Concours. And it's one of the kind of like a touristic place. So show goers and also tourists and many different people are kind of totally mixed up and then creating a chaotic situation. And I found those 2 people on the back wearing I Love Paris, and then I find that that's quite cute. And then keep thinking, how should I shoot them? Because I can just shoot them, but that's fine. But also, since they have, 2 of the same, t-shirts, and I was looking for if there's any other like people or object or like any kind of like a distraction in order to capture them, and then find the like perfect to tourists, even though they live in Paris, they are wearing a London beanie. And so I asked, like, oh, can I take a picture? And then I just slew them and then shot them. So this is one of the kind of like observation example. So not just taking a picture of them, but also the kind of finding like interesting sort of like a ambient object or like people. And the one on the right is the girl wearing crazy high heel boots. I can't remember she made it herself, but and she was wearing all orange. And then there's a traffic light on the right hand side. Since she was wearing everything in orange, I wanted to take a picture with this yellow traffic light. because why not? And then there was police officers with the more sort of like a riot um, gears, which kind of work as a great sort of comparison against what she's wearing. So I kind of like waited, taking picture the moment of the traffic lights changing to yellow, but also obviously those police officers were reacting what reacting to her. So kind of capturing the moment as well. That's another observation point. And this next one is the one on the left is at New York, outside the show venue. And this girl wearing white top, she was taking a picture of this red coat lady. And New York has got a very strong contrasty lights. And I was just looking at her coat and then realized the photographer was almost look like she's coming out from the bin, like Super Mario in a way. And I find that this is quite interesting. I know it's funny, and also this road sign says one way, and now it's funny enough there's a Tesla company logos over there as well. But yeah, so basically that. And then the one on the right, and this was at Paris. I was first looking at the girl. Um, I think she was taking a selfie, and and then like this girl looks quite cool, and and then she was taking a selfie. Oh, okay, and then I was kind of focusing on her, and then realized there's actually a very similar pose film poster at the back. And this is almost kind of like a lucky moment, although you need a timing. So again, observation. Here you go. And this left is the one in the left is the shot at Milan. And uh, which show was it? Anyway, so this moment was like a lot of showgoers, guests are coming through, and then lots of photographers are coming and going. So this nail spa ladies keep looking at outside, trying to find out what's going on. And then one on the front is one of my friend, Philo, standing with a pink coat, and then find it, okay, same color. And then uh, in a blue van and cars, and then these kind of like a color code coordination works really well. And this kind of like a color combination thing is probably one of my strengths because I specialize in graphic design in the past, and I find it's always uh, interesting. One on the right is the I shot in Florence, and first I was looking at this Maria jacket, and then trying to think kind of like how should I shoot it because singular image is not, again, it's not so much interesting, but there should be something happen. So I can't keep following him and then just waiting for the moment of something happens. And then basically restaurant staff came out with this wine and also I think sparkling water on the left. And I guess I got the moment. Yeah. So basically, this on this photo, I wanted kind of um, emphasize or talk about sometimes it's better to wait um, something to happen because um, of course, sometimes it's nothing is happening, but you know, uh, yeah, on the street photography is good to wait. And this again, one on the left is the shot in Paris. Um, I think she's a model, and I was trying to take a picture, and then realized there's a kind of like a little poster graffiti on the back, and I find it quite interesting. Kind of similar sort of um, eye level as well, and it's a bit of a naughty graffiti on the nose bit as well, but. And one on the right is, I guess this is more classical, sort of classic street photography style. Um, when there's a, little sort of like a destruction object, or this time there's, the water is flooding there. So everyone is crossing, no one's gonna, step in. Everyone's always crossing. So you just wait over there until interesting moments happen. And especially this lady was wearing the quite a big high heel, and just waiting for the moment to shoot. Okay, this um this one is I think the one on the left image is the girl coming to the show to see the show, and then at the back, uh, there was a kind of like classic sort of like a wedding photo session was going on, since this was a Trocadero in Paris. So when you go to the left side, there's big Eiffel Tower you can see, and then it's one of the sort of like everyone taking sort of like a very classic wedding photos over there. And I just find it interesting to combine those two people. Um, One on the right is this old lady was standing on the street, keep watching the guests coming to see the shows with this face expressions. And those two guys walking down the street, they weren't coming to see the show, but she was basically watching it like this kind of express, you know, um, this face, and I find it quite interesting. So, and then it's in Paris, and people talking about, oh, yeah, Parisian is very conservative and all those kind of stuff. So, well, it's a good moment. And this one on the left is in London. I think outside the Selfridges. And the lady standing on the middle, standing in the middle, is the one of the kind of like a spot that everyone trying to take a picture. And obviously, people trying to work it out what's going on. And I find these kind of like sort of sometimes you feel a bit silly about the whole Fashion Week things, but um, interesting to document what's actually going on, not just a singular person's like what they are wearing. Um, so yeah, I took a picture, and one at the back, the person running behind is actually a friend of mine, photographer. She sadly passed away, but that's one another thing. And the one on the right is shot at New York. Um, I was kind of trying to work out where to take a picture. And also, this model guy was walking down from the right-hand side. And then I find it, oh, he looks cool. But then, okay, how can I take a picture? And this glass uh, building reflecting all those kind of, the streets behind. And there were kind of like a lot of things happening, like another model waiting the maybe a taxi, and then another one is kind of like tuning on the left side. And so basically, instead of taking his picture straight on the straight sort of how focusing from the front, I I thought it might be and better to take picture from this corner. Also, he was wearing this kind of like a wide leg pants as well, which it's more suitable to take picture from the side way, I guess. Yeah, that's that. And here I have the one on the left is in Inter Milan. Um, Other people are taking a picture of this blue jacket person, and then on the orange background. And then there was a postman coming from the left side. I can see that he's coming in. So I was, yeah, maybe it's better to put him in the picture, and that makes it more interesting. And then afterwards, I turned out that jacket is kind of similar. So these kind of things you don't think in that moment, but sometimes it works afterwards. One on the right is at the Paris. This guy was like quite cool, and coincidentally, there's a school kids were walking past, and I I kind of knew it that that those kids were is going to react if I was taking someone's picture. So first I asked this person, "Can I take a picture of you?" And he said, "Cool, cool, that's fine." And then uh, kind of like have a kept a little moment before all those kids reacts to him, and then took a picture. So that's how I got it. Again, it's a kind of better to wait sort of a moment. Okay, so the next thing I'm talking about is just shape and silhouette. Um, so fashion in the fashion, the shape and silhouette and the color, or I guess everything is very important, but I find it shape and silhouette is very interesting, especially from the behind or the sideway. And when you taking a picture of someone famous or some like influencer and stuff, that of course you take a picture from the front, but that image is kind of like end up being like just their picture almost. But if you are taking a picture from behind, um, you can't the image losing the sort of like an icon or the main character almost, but work as a shape or how do I say basically becomes your work in a way. And I was finding taking picture of these kind of like behind or these shapes, beautiful shapes and stuff. And so yeah, I take a picture of that, and then so make it personal. So this actually related to the what exactly I'm talking about, this shapes and stuff. Just because the make it personal is very important because um, nowadays anyone can take pictures with a phone or any cameras, and then in order to kind of keep it as your work, you need to reflect your own interest or yourself sometimes, and then so the make it personal is the one of the important thing I feel. So I keep documenting. Like I always carry a little camera every day, but also do even during the fashion week, I document many different occasions, not necessarily like people on in a beautiful clothes. For instance, one on the right, uh, I like those kind of like happen moments. Well, you probably saw previous examples as well, and those kind of like make it personal is the important thing I think, and which also connects to ready-made object. I put a quote from the Marcel Duchamp, as some people know that he is famous surreal artist, postmodern. And I like this phrase, art isn't just what artist creates, it's also how viewers see it. That's again, photography is documenting how you frame it, frame the images, frame the timing. And so what I do is keep taking pictures of the finding on a street. And I used to thinking that these kind of things a bit, some people saying like, oh, that's a bit studenty or whatever. But still, if you are interested, keep taking pictures, and when you actually keep doing that, you start to learn more about it. Uh, it doesn't have to be things on the street, but also just uh, your own interest is very sorry. What I mean is, if you keep taking the pictures of your things that you are interested in, you start finding it more deeper, and then that connects to what you're doing as well. The next one is the example. One on the left is that I just find this shadow is interesting in, and then one on the right is that somehow happen to be the same shape as the shadow. This happened in just within 3 days somehow. So this kind of thing is actually it it's great for if you are making books or any kind of magazine prints and stuff. And also that understanding layouts or understanding the color of the object, which you can apply to when you are taking a good portrait, because the background does affect to the portrait images. So in this term, one on the left is the big yellow crane, the angle of the crane, and also this person's hat and then shoulder angle works well with the background. And the one on the right is again, I can't remember what was it, but maybe a construction vehicle or something like that. But again, work as a great background object, and those perspective works really well, I feel. And same as here, streets object can be used as a great background. One on the right, big blue truck was actually stopping there just because there was a huge traffic jam, but works great. Works great as a background. And poetry details. So I'm basically talking about all these kind of like my own personal interest, including this like ready-made object that I just mentioned. And this is another way of finding how to make the images more personal. And I'm always interested in sort of like small details, especially hand gestures. And there's always a like interesting meaning of it. Doesn't necessarily there's a straightforward meaning of it, but also how do I say? I I like the images that the like if there's a 10 viewers, 10 viewers has got many different say to it. I don't really like the images that 10 viewers saying exactly the same thing. So that makes it, I think, the actual work interesting. Doesn't necessarily the photography, but also in a kind of like art situation, the art industry as well, I feel. Uh, so, but keeping spontaneous. So maybe maybe I didn't talk about much of the technique and stuff, but maybe I can talk about more technique and things. Um, but technique is the sometimes the it's quite a dangerous things because you get into the so much technique and forget about the sort of like joy of the photography or like framing the moments almost. So yeah, keep it spontaneous is the important thing. And so yeah, this is just a random pickup of the images of my from my archive, but keep taking pictures and like for instance the guy on the top middle top uh, has got so much tattoo on his face and stuff. I found him in New York at night, like quite, scary looking guy, but still, people on a tattoo, um, also they are, proud of it. And when I ask, like, oh, your tattoo looks cool, and then can I take a picture? And then they it's like, yeah, for sure, sure. And of course, sometimes you need to be careful, but like, yeah, keep it spontaneous is probably one of the key features. I'm kind of keep in mind all the time. So yeah, these kind of images. Yeah. Uh, yeah, one in the middle on the top, the police car with the lady lying on the floor. I have no idea what's going on in this one, but she was taking selfie somehow at Paris. Um, okay, so I was kind of rushing a bit, so I don't know. What I said was kind of makes sense, but this is kind of showing what exactly I wanted to talk about. Basically, the like as I said, the you can learn many techniques, and you can upgrade the equipment and upgrade your knowledge and stuff. But those kind of things makes your photography sometimes stiff. And so it's always good to go back your kind of like a freshness, rawness. And so always good to go back like your old photography that you like you took in past or like and keep looking back what you did. And then also um I put the communication over here, but I use 35 mil lens, and the reason in that sort of like street style photography, a lot of people use it like a long zoom lenses, but that kind of like I find it sometimes less communicate with the what you're taking picture of. So and also I like documenting style, so I use the kind of like a wider lens and shorter um, uh, focal length. And then I make it personal is on the left. Yeah, keep researching your own list, interest. Doesn't have to be photography, like exhibition and some other books or film and stuff. Yeah. And then also the lastly, friends and family. These are my photographers' friends. Having a good friends of um, people who are interested in, it doesn't have to be photography, but also the people who like, appreciate your work, respect you, people you respect each other, your own work. That can create the great advantage of your photography. So that's the one thing that I wanted to mention at the last. Yeah. Sorry, it's getting dark and I probably need to switch on the lights, so bear with me.
That is fine, you. Thank you so much for sharing your lovely presentation with us. And just to highlight that we are particularly appreciative of the fact that this is a very, very busy month for you, moving from location to location and shooting. And so we really, really appreciate your presence and sharing your wisdom with honesty. I'll just keep it brief and start the Q&A session because we have several questions that have come through.
Yep.
So the first question that we received it via email, and it reads, how do you build a cohesive portfolio? And do you have any tips on developing a personal style of photography?
So this is it is a difficult thing. Although only thing I can say is the keep taking the pictures, and also when you start in a kind of like when you're starting finding your own sort of style, sometimes you need to focus on just only that. I don't know what you mean about this, but uh, the reason I'm saying is that this is kind of my connected to how I got into this industry as well. But I, in the beginning, I was taking the pictures or like how other people are taking pictures on the street style, and then I was kind of getting bored, and then also this is not what I really want to do, and I was kind of keep thinking maybe I should just take a picture of what I really like, and then there's one point I was like, that's it, and I one season I just take pictures of what I really like, and then I'll send it to the publications, several different publications. And two publications get back to me, oh, we're interested in, and one of them is actually Dazed. So this was quite interesting because when I was doing both and then showing to some other friends, some people are saying like, oh, I don't know what you were trying to take a picture of, but in the end, it doesn't matter. If it's very like this kind of thing, it totally depends on the people how they're looking at the images. And so going back to those kind of portfolios and styles and stuff, yeah, keep taking pictures and then try not to do what other people are doing, and then um yeah, just true to yourself, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Second question is, do you get paid every time you go to a fashion week? How do you fund flying to different locations around the world, like New York, Paris, etc.? Or do brands pay you to fly you out to photograph street style?
Right. Yeah, this is it's probably the worst thing. So no one's pay. So well, sometimes if when there's like a invited big events and stuff, and then you need to come in from different countries. There are a few occasions I got the client to pay on the staying cost, but usually it's all by you. And then during the fashion week, you got some other clients, and then you get the money from multiple clients in the end. And then after the fashion week, you need to chase up the invoices.
Thank you for sharing with transparency, you. The next question that we have, it's more like a comment. Thank you. Interested to hear the business side. So if anything more business related comes in mind, feel free to share it. Or if the person who commented that on the chat has a follow-up question on the business side that it's more specific for you, we would be happy to share it. The follow-up to this is a technical question. So how do you store all your images? Do you have a personal archive that you reference for the future?
Right. Yes. So, as I said, my main photography thing format is the analog. So I've got a huge amount of negative and slide films stored at home. But one thing I'm really not good at is actually archiving all those images. I'm keeping in a safe dry box, although yeah, archiving is the most difficult one. Of course, separate it. I always separate in the countries that I shot and stuff. Some sort of big sort of uh,
Mhm.
shelf. But yeah.
Awesome. Next question is, what are your personal inspirations and specifically artists? I
Right.
think you shared this lovely quote earlier, of course. Was it from, it wasn't Louise Bourgeois? No.
The Marcel Duchamp or
Marshall Duchamp, yes. So that came through. But is there any specific artist that might come to mind?
so I I get influence from many different things. Sometimes it's a film, sometimes it's a poet, or like things find on the streets, or sometimes it's nature. I like go for camping, and so I think it's one of the important thing to get in order to get the influence is the curiosity is very important. Like trying having the sort of like a different perspective of the object or images or the situations, and then trying to look at from at least three different angles. Sometimes this actually works in a sort of when you talking about some topics and stuff as well. But yeah, so I get influence from many different things. Of course, there are some like photographers, like as I said, the you know, friends. You know, you can get a lot of influence from each other, and that kind of relationship is always good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all those different threads of inspiration and beyond art as well. Next question is, how do you approach people in the street? And just, I will quickly say that, of course, for anyone else who is joining us, whenever you photograph any children, please do seek permission from legal guardians. We always highlight that for safeguarding purposes and permissions for our trainees and at our event participants. But over to you, do you have any icebreakers for approaching people in the street?
Yeah, I tried a few different ways, but be I mean, most easiest thing is be respectable and then just ask casually but with confidence, and then you know be ready to show you what you do, like you know your maybe your Instagram, or some people ask the contact details after that. You know, you can share that. You know, you're not doing nothing wrong with it. So if they say no, yeah, that's fine too.
Absolutely. Thank you for highlighting that. Next question is, what are some things street photography has taught you that might have influenced your fashion photography?
Ah, I see. Um, yeah, so hmm. So this is kind of connected to those like ready-made object sections, but some like now I can find good angles or good locations or maybe a good object in order to take a nice portrait or the full-length photos, and because I'm doing it more than 10 years, and then this kind of things will it actually helps quite a lot when you're taking editorial or more commission work with the clients. I shoot very quick, so yeah, so that it's actually really helps. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I think the next question ties in with what you brought up. It reads, how do you start publishing your work? Do you have a project that makes you get published?
Right. Yeah, so in the beginning it was blog, and then later on I moved to Instagram. Uh, Back in the time I was quite doubt about it, but anyway, yeah, why don't we start? And then um, yeah, I need to work on my archive, as I said before, but also thinking of working on more prints and eventually a book. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that. Um, Following question, how is the pitching process sharing images with the publications and magazines? Any tips, advice, or best practices? Idest, do you group the images, events, and then reach out to them?
Yeah. Again, when I was reaching out to the publications back in the time, Instagram was still basically it wasn't there, and but mostly by email. I mean, I guess you can still reach out by email now. So what I used to do is that I create the a little sort of like a website thing, or back in the time, like Tumblr was kind of easy. Just put lots of images in one page, make it easy for the clients to look at, and then attach just the small images of your favorite work. No one wants to receive the heavy images, so that's how I was doing it. But I sent a lot of emails. Uh, yeah, so that's, and also another thing, another basic thing is that basic good thing is that keep telling your friends that what you do. And sometimes this actually connects to maybe a small job, but small job connects to more bigger job. So yeah, it's good to tell or show what you do to your friends or people you know.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. And yes, we speak a lot about cold emailing with our trainees, and it's part of the freelancing world and experience. So thanks for sharing with that. A follow-up question. When there are no fashion weeks going on, what do you work on photograph during those times in between?
So off Fashion Week time, I work on my the client jobs as well as the I li- ba also I like taking pictures of musicians and stuff. So sometimes I get the job from the brand or the magazine or and but also keep carrying the cameras all the time. Sometimes when the day is going to be nice, I go to the streets, and then when there's events, I document that. Yeah, recently I went to the Notting Hill Carnival, for instance. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. There is a question about Japan. How does it compare doing street photography in Japan versus other cities you usually go for in Europe or in the United States? And the participant is saying wanting to do street photography on a trip to Japan. They will be doing soon.
So this is it's a good question actually. Every country has a different reaction against the street photography. States, great, especially New York. They are totally open-minded, and then I guess just because there's so many great street photographers there. And Paris also fine. Italian people also loved to get photographs as well. But Japan is it's a bit different. Even though I'm Japanese, and sometimes I go back to Japan like once a year, and then I try to do similar stuff. I do like street style kind of things sometimes, but Japanese people are very shy, and then a lot of people don't want to stand out in the public, so therefore people don't want to get photographed as well. There's sort of like a privacy concept is quite different to here. So I would say some also, but still, some people totally don't mind it getting photographed. So I would recommend to learn how to say in Japanese. You can read the translation on the phone and then showing to them as well. But 写真撮らせてもらっていいですか? Then if they say, oh yeah, it's fine and stuff, it's yeah, why not? Yeah.
That's a great tip, you. Thank you for sharing. I have a question coming from me, and just to say a big thank you to people who have been sharing their name handles on socials so that each one can connect with each other. We love to see that. My question is, how do you see the future of street style photography changing with AI and of course social media?
Yeah. So it is kind of difficult one, but also still, I got the kind of clear answer for AI. The AI can create the almost like a perfect images, but the street photography is random. A lot of random things happen. I know there are like lots of random videos and AI images there, but um yeah, I I find it sometimes difficult to cross over the AI images and street photo. But what I mean is that um, hmm, when the photography came out, all those oil painter thought that they're gonna lose the job, but we still have oil painting, still portrait artists and those kind of people still alive, still there doing their job, and then photography is already in the public many years, and also now we have an iPhone, everyone can take pictures, but still both things exist. So yeah, I don't feel worry or anything like that. Yeah.
I like your optimism, and it's a question that has emerged a lot at previous fashion photography workshops that we have held at the Photography Foundation. And what also comes up is to be mindful when using prompts to not plagiarize anyone's specific work, but just to prepare to use more descriptive language about the outcome that is to be achieved when using like all those different softwares. Our time with you is coming to a close, so I would like to please ask our participants to complete our very brief online feedback survey, which helps us improve, and it helps us also secure future funding. Our feedback survey is anonymous, so just please be as honest as possible with us. And thank you again for using your name handles on social media. I'm happy to compile these and share them at the follow-up email, as well as use a fantastic presentation with all of you. And you have many thank you messages on the chat. Thank you so much for sharing your work and experience. Thank you for answering our questions. And then, yeah, I see the comments now. Lots of name handles for connections on Instagram. And yeah, thank you for making this time for us, but also thank you everyone for showing up on an evening. Our next online photo tips talk is taking place in October, and it's going to be about usage and licensing with dark light. Please do check our events webpage. It gets updated on a regular basis with new events, but also please visit our website, and our LinkedIn and Instagram are the most up to date, so that you can see the whole offer of the Photography Foundation. I hope that you everyone have a lovely evening.